Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something. See, when a man really falls in love with an older woman, something shifts in him. This ain't no puppy love. This ain't no, I saw her on Instagram and she fine kind of crush. No, this is grown man love. This is the type of love that make a man speak differently, think differently, walk differently. You know, people always think men only go for youth. They think men only want that young, carefree, wild kind of energy. But let me tell you something straight up. When a man matures, when he's been through some stuff, when he's felt pain, tasted failure, made some money, lost some peace, he starts to look at life different. And that's when something clicks in him. He starts to crave death. He starts craving wisdom. And let me tell you where he finds that most of the time, in an older woman. Now, I ain't talking about older, like 90 years old and he 30. Don't twist what I'm saying. I'm talking about a woman who's lived enough life to know what's real. A woman who doesn't chase love, she attracts it. A woman who's not out here playing games, texting 10 men at the same time looking for attention. No. I'm talking about a woman who knows herself, who knows her worth, and who knows how to speak life into a man without losing herself in the process. See, a man admires that. He might not say it out loud to his boys, but deep down, that kind of woman shakes his soul. She ain't loud, but her presence is powerful. She ain't dramatic, but her absence is unforgettable. And when she walks in a room, she ain't trying to compete because she already complete. That's the kind of woman that'll stop a grown man in his tracks and make him reassess what he's been doing with his life. And men admire that wisdom, that strength, that calm. Older women have this way of making a man feel seen without making him feel small. She'll check him, sure, but it ain't coming from ego. It's coming from experience. When she tells you something, it's because she's been there. She's felt heartbreak. She's rebuilt herself. She's cried in silence and stood tall in public. She didn't get that grace from books. He got it from surviving. So when a man really pays attention, he starts noticing how different she is from the rest. He watches how she don't chase, how she ain't moved by every little thing. He sees how she can sit in her peace and not feel lonely, how she can love herself without needing validation from anybody. That right there, that scares some men. But the ones who are ready, the ones who've grown, that attracts them. That's what they've been looking for and didn't even know it. He starts listening different when she talks. Her words don't just land on his ears, they land on his spirit. He don't just look at her body, he looks at how she carries pain without bitterness. He notices how she forgives without forgetting, how she gives without expecting, how she loves without losing herself. And now he's thinking, man, this woman ain't like the rest. And here's the part people don't talk about. Older women don't need a man. And that makes a real man want her even more. She don't need him to rescue her, fix her, or complete her. She's already whole. And what a real man wants is not a project. He wants a partner, somebody he can build with, someone who don't just support his dreams, but challenges him to dream bigger, someone who calls him out, but still builds him up. That's the beauty of an older woman. That's what makes her powerful. A man admires that deeply because he knows that if she lets him in, it ain't because she's lonely, it's because she sees something in him. And let me tell you something, when a man feels chosen by a woman like that, he ain't gonna play with her. Not if he got any sense. He's gonna value her, protect her, and most importantly, he's gonna listen. Because her wisdom, that's not just for him to hear, it's for him to live by. And that's why men admire older women more than they admit. because it's not just about beauty. It's about presence. It's about power. It's about peace. Let me tell y'all something. When a man truly loves an older woman, the way he speaks to her changes. He don't talk reckless. He don't play with words. He don't come with no smooth talking, sweet nothing lines like he's trying to run game. No. When he loves her, when he respects her, every word he speaks to her is intentional, is thoughtful, is laced with care. He ain't just trying to impress her. He's trying to honor her. And that's a whole different energy. See, younger women sometimes get a man's ego, but an older woman, she gets his truth. She pulls the real out of him. And when a man feels that, he slows down. He chooses his words like he knows they matter. He's no longer focused on just saying what she wants to hear. He's focused on saying what she deserves to hear. And that's powerful because the moment a man starts to measure his words, it means he values what's in front of him. Now look, older women have heard it all. They've been sweet talked, lied to, cheated on, loved halfway. So a man knows he can't come with half-hearted sentences or empty compliments. She can smell a lie before it even leaves his lips. She knows when words are fake and when they real. So a man who truly cares about her, he don't take chances with that. He don't speak just to fill the silence. He speaks to connect. He speaks to reassure. He speaks to remind her that she's not just wanted, she's respected. When he tells her she's beautiful, it ain't just about her looks. It's about the way she walks with purpose, the way she carries her past with grace, the way she enters a room without needing to announce herself. He tells her, I admire you, because it's not just love, it's honor. And when a man admires a woman, you hear it in his tone. He ain't loud with it, but he's clear. He's firm. He's soft too, but not weak. It's that rare kind of softness that comes from strength. He starts saying things like, what do you think? Now let me pause right there, because that question, simple as it sounds, means everything. When a man asks a woman for her opinion, not to correct her, but to learn from her, that's real love and respect. That means he sees her as his equal. He trusts her insight. He believes her wisdom. And older women, they've got that wisdom, not from school books, not from theory, but from living. And he knows that. So he acts. And when she speaks, he listens, not to argue, not to defend, but to understand. He also becomes very careful with his apologies. He don't just throw out a sorry like it don't mean anything. He knows she don't play that. He understands that an older woman has healed too much to tolerate immaturity. So when he messes up, and he will, because we all do, he owns it. He don't blame her. He don't deflect. He says, I was wrong, and I want to make it right. That's the language of a man who respects the woman he's with. And you know what else he says? He says, thank you. He thanks her for her patience. He thanks her for her presence. He thanks her for letting him in, for choosing him, for loving him with the kind of love that don't come easy. Because deep down, he knows she didn't have to. She had choices. She had peace. And if she let him into that peace, that's a privilege. When a man loves an older woman, he becomes intentional. He guards his words because he don't want to break what he values. He becomes a man of his word, not just a man with words, because he knows that with her, trust is everything. And once it's gone, he ain't getting it back easy. So he don't play that game. He don't gamble with her heart. He speaks life into her. He speaks truth. He speaks gently, but with power. And when he says, I love you, you can bet your last dollar he means every syllable. Let me break it down for y'all. When a man speaks certain words to an older woman he truly loves, those words don't come from some shallow place. They don't come from lust or some temporary thrill or because he got caught up in a moment. No, those words come from deep respect, from true admiration, from seeing her not just as someone he's attracted to, but someone he's inspired by. And when a man gets to that level, the stuff he says hits different. It's one thing for a man to say, you're sexy, or you look good. And yeah, that feels nice. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But when a man says something like, you make me want to be a better man, now that's coming from somewhere real. It's not just about the curves on her body. That's about the effect she has on his soul. That's about her presence challenging him, uplifting him, encouraging him to level up without her even asking. She just carries herself in a way that makes him want to grow. Older women have a different kind of influence on a man. And it's not because they're trying to change him. Nah, it's because they've already changed themselves. They've been through heartbreak, healing, rebuilding, and now they live in alignment. They know who they are. And a man sees that, he admires that. It reminds him of the version of himself he wants to become. So the things he says to her are different from what he might say to someone else. He says stuff like, I feel calm when I'm with you, or I've never felt this kind of peace before. That ain't coming from physical attraction. That's soul talk. That's emotional honesty. A man doesn't talk like that unless he's seeing something beyond the surface. And he doesn't say those words unless that woman has already impacted him in ways he didn't even expect. She's shown him what real love feels like. Not that chaotic, toxic kind of love, but the kind that nurtures, balances, restores. And when he feels that, his words start reflecting. He might say, you remind me of who I'm meant to be. Now stop right there. That's not some romantic line out of a movie. That's a confession. That means she's helping him reconnect with his purpose, with his better side, with his grown man potential. And trust me, when a man feels that, he don't care about age. He don't care about what the world says. He's thinking, whatever this woman has, I want to protect it. I want to grow with it. I want to keep it. And sometimes he don't even say much. He'll just look at her and say, I'm proud of you. Now that one right there, that's not flirtation. That's admiration. That's him recognizing her strength, her journey, her courage. It means he's paying attention. He sees her grind. He sees her healing. He sees her independence. And it doesn't intimidate him. It inspires him. It tells him that love doesn't have to be loud or messy or dramatic. It can be peaceful. It can be safe. It can be soft and powerful at the same time. He also starts saying things like, I trust you. You don't say that to just anybody. A man who says he trusts a woman is telling her, you're my peace. And that's the highest compliment a man can give, because men live in a world that expects them to be strong 24/7. And when a woman gives him a space where he can let down the weight, where he can just be, that's priceless. That's admiration in its purest form. So when you hear a man say those kinds of things to an older woman, don't brush it off. That ain't just sweet talk. That's the sound of a man who's found something rare, something real. He's not speaking from a place of desire. He's speaking from a place of honor, because he sees not just a woman in front of him, but the queen inside her. And you don't talk to a queen any kind of way. You speak with reverence. Let me tell y'all something most folks don't talk about. There's a different kind of love that a man feels when he's with an older woman. It ain't just romance. It ain't just physical. It's something deeper, something stronger, something way more secure. See, an older woman don't just love you with her heart. She loves you with her soul, her mind, her peace. And when a man connects with that, that's the kind of love that roots itself in his spirit. It's not loud, but it's lasting. It's not chaotic, it's calm. It don't give him butterflies. It gives him balance. You got to understand something. Men are not always looking for excitement. Sometimes what a man wants most is rest. He wants to feel like he don't have to perform, like he can breathe, like he don't have to keep wearing this mask he puts on every day for the world. And let me tell you who knows how to give a man that kind of space, an older woman. She don't demand attention. She commands peace. She don't chase validation. She offers clarity. That right there, that's emotional safety. That's where real love begins. A man who's used to fighting battles in the world starts to crave someone who doesn't bring war into the home. Someone who listens when he's quiet. Someone who doesn't ask, why are you so distant? But instead says, I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. And that tone, that presence, that understanding, that don't come from someone still figuring herself out. That comes from a woman who's walked through her own storms and learned how to love without fear. And older women don't play games. They don't love out of insecurity. They don't give you their heart expecting you to fix them. They've already done the work. They're not looking to be saved. They're looking to share peace. And when a man steps into that space, his whole posture changes. He starts opening up, not because he's forced, but because he feels safe. Now look, emotional safety ain't about babying a man or letting him slack. It's about giving him the freedom to be honest, to admit when he's tired, to say, I'm scared and not be judged for it. And when a woman can hold that kind of space, he sees her differently. He's not just in love with how she looks, he's in love with how she makes him feel. And that kind of love, that's not something you just walk away from. Men feel that shift. They notice that she doesn't argue to win, she communicates to connect. They realize that she don't hold grudges. She sets boundaries. And they respect that because they know she's not reacting from emotion, she's responding from experience. That experience teaches her not to make everything about drama. That wisdom teaches her how to listen without trying to fix. That maturity teaches her to love without losing herself. When a man receives that kind of love, he gets addicted to the feeling of peace. He starts rethinking how love is supposed to feel. See, a lot of us were raised to think love had to be hard, that it had to hurt a little to mean something. But an older woman teaches a man that love can be soft and strong at the same time, that it can be quiet but powerful, that it can be gentle but unshakable. And once a man experiences that, oh, he ain't going back to care. He starts to trust her, not just with his secrets, but with his fears, his flaws, his future. That's what emotional safety does. It builds a bond that don't break easy. It creates a space where both people can heal, grow, and breathe. It ain't about control. It's about respect. And that respect turns into love that don't fade when things get hard. Because When a man loves an older woman, he's not just loving who she is. He's loving how she makes him better, stronger, and more whole than he's ever been. Let me tell you something about grown men and grown love. A man might act tough in the streets, might wear confidence like a suit, might smile and crack jokes like nothing ever touches him. But deep down, that man's got wounds. He's carrying pressure. He's got doubts, fears, questions that he don't feel safe to ask out loud. And you know who unlocks that side of him? Not just any woman, an older woman. See, when a man is truly in love with a woman who's lived some life, who's grown, who's healed, who knows herself, he don't feel like he got to perform anymore. He don't feel like he's being watched or judged. He feels like he can take off the armor because that woman gives off a different energy. She don't try to fix him. She listens to him. She don't interrupt his silence. She understands it. That kind of energy, that's rare. That's the type of presence that makes a man feel like he can finally exhale. You see, men aren't naturally taught to be vulnerable. Most men were raised on survival, not sensitivity. They were taught, don't cry, man up, don't show weakness. So by the time he's grown, he's mastered the art of pretending. He'll laugh when he's hurting. He'll push through when he's exhausted. He'll keep going even when his soul is breaking. But the moment he meets a woman who gives him permission to just be, that changes everything. An older woman don't flinch when he opens up. She don't look at him different when he says, I'm tired, or I'm scared I'll fail, or I don't know who I am anymore. Instead of seeing him as weak, she sees the courage it takes to be real. And a man feels that. He don't have to explain himself every minute. He don't have to fake strength. With her, he finds a love that lets him be human. That's why men fall hard for women who carry that emotional maturity. Because he might not say it, but he's craving that space where he can be soft without being seen as less of a man. He wants to lay his head in her lap and not be judged. He wants to admit he's confused without being told to get it together. He wants to cry and still feel like a king when he's done. And she lets him, not by saying, go ahead and cry, but by creating an environment where he knows he can. You'll see it in the way he talks around her. He gets quieter, but more honest. He starts opening up about his past, not to impress her, but because he trusts her. He tells her stories he's never told anybody. He speaks about his dreams, not like they're fantasies, but like they're possible again. That's what her presence does. It doesn't just listen, it revives. She doesn't just hear him, she sees him, all of him. The strong parts, the broken parts, the scared parts. And she loves every version of him, not just the highlight reel. That kind of love, that's soul love. That's grown up love. That's the kind of connection that don't come from looks or status. It comes from safety, from knowing that even on your worst day, she'll still be there, not to save you, but to stand with you. And that right there is where his vulnerability lives. In knowing that with her, he don't have to be anything other than exactly who he is. So when people ask why some men are so drawn to older women, it's because they finally feel like they don't have to keep pretending. They feel free, they feel understood. And when a man finds that kind of woman, the one who doesn't just allow his vulnerability but welcomes it, he ain't just in love, he's home. Now let me explain something about how a man loves when he's dealing with a woman who's been through life, who's grown, who's seasoned. He knows she don't fall for talk. She's heard it all before twice. So when he tells her he loves her, he knows that ain't enough. He knows she ain't gonna be impressed by some good morning text or late night, I miss you. Now, see, an older woman, she's watching his action. She's watching his consistency, his tone, his timing. And when a man really loves her, he ain't just saying it, he's showing it loud and clear. See, a man in love with an older woman understands that words without action are just noise. He's not just telling her, I love you. He's showing up for her. He's protecting her peace. He's respecting her time. He's not coming around only when it's convenient or when he wants something. No, he's consistent. He's dependable. And you know what? He's intentional. Because he knows she don't have time to waste. She's not sitting around waiting for someone to figure it out. She needs a man who knows what he wants, and when he loves her, he proves it every single day. That's when he starts being more present. He listens deeper. He picks up on the little things, the tone in her voice, the silence between her words. He knows when something's off without her having to say a word. Because love, real love, is in the details. It's in the way he makes sure she gets home safe, the way he keeps his word, the way he prioritizes her without making her feel like she's asking for too much. And I'll tell you something else. When a man loves an older woman, he values her time. He don't play with her emotions. He don't leave her guessing. He communicates, not just when it's easy, but even when it's uncomfortable. He don't run from hard conversations. He leans in because he knows that building with her requires maturity, not just chemistry. And that maturity shows in everything he does. He'll do things like check in during her busy days, not to be controlling, but because he cares. He supports her goals, her dreams, her independence. He's not intimidated by her strength. He admires it. And instead of competing with it, he compliments it. He makes space for her to shine without dimming his own light. That's a different kind of man. That's a man who ain't just talking love, he's living it. You see, he also understands that love isn't just about how you treat someone in public, it's how you show up when nobody's watching. That means being kind even when he's tired. That means choosing patience over pride. That means being loyal even when temptation shows up dressed real nice. Because love, especially the kind he feels for her, comes with responsibility, and he honors that. You can tell he loves her by how he respects her boundaries. He don't push her to move faster than she's ready. He don't guilt her into giving more than she's comfortable with. He meets her where she is, and he shows her he's not just here for the good days. He's here for all of it. The highs, the lows, the doubts, the healing. Because love to him is a commitment, not just a feeling. He don't say, I love you just to calm her down or buy time. He says it because he means it, and every time he does, his actions back it up. He shows it when he takes care of her when she's sick. When he sacrifices things that used to matter because she matters more. When he puts his pride aside to protect the connection. That's what love looks like when it's grown, when it's real, when it's with a woman who knows herself. So when you see a man loving an older woman, right, don't just listen to what he says. Watch what he does. Because with her, words alone won't cut it. And he knows that. That's why every move he makes is proof that he ain't just in love, He's showing it like a man who truly understands what he's got